and another aspect of this, which is again quite a critical issue, has to do then with self-determined death. That as we kind of hold all this information in terms of people living longer and the issues and factors that we'll be bumping into as we age, is that we need to be alert to, this aspect of self-determined death. And again, due to this modern biotechnology, that we are again looking at living into later years. And this question comes up. Families that have had to deal with this over the years. They often say we had to discuss with the doctors whether it's time to pull the plug, and how that just sets families against one another. They'll say things like, well, Dad said to me, I want to live no matter what happens. Even if I'm in a coma, maybe I'll wake up, so don't pull the plug. And another sibling says, no, Dad told me that I could pull the plug, that I don't want to live in a state like that. And so families really have a terrible time with some of these issues. And so care providers are forced to make explicit decisions about end of life. Is that this person is, often you hear, they're brain dead, they'll never revive. But a lot of people are in great denial about that and just don't want to see their loved one die. It's very complicated and distressing. And it's a continuing debate about right to die, self-determination, the self-determined death. Is very powerful. Foregoing life-sustaining treatment for assisted suicide. We need to look at that, and we need to think about what comes up in me as I hear Patrick discuss these kinds of issues. Where do I stand in terms of self-determination, right to die, euthanasia, assisted suicide? When it comes to long-term care and aging, these are aspects of our work that we have to really look at, because they're what's happening out there in our communities. Should people have the choice to end their lives? Is that something that we see as a value that we support or don't support? And it's a complicated one. I don't think it's easy for us to kind of wade in those dark waters in terms of how do we help people with this. Euthanasia, it can be either active or passive, but active euthanasia denotes some deliberate intervention to end the person's life. That with active euthanasia, there's something deliberate I'm going to do. Passive euthanasia means not doing something like withdrawing life-sustaining support, so we don't let the person maintain on a certain device or whatever. We don't go to our dialysis anymore. We say, I don't want that anymore. I withdraw from that intervention. Assisted suicide, someone provides the means or carry out the instructions required for an individual to end their life. And these are all very controversial concepts that trigger a lot of distress for families, for the medical community, and I think that's where we all come in terms of aging, to try to help people, discuss these, to debate them, to talk about them. Only the state of Oregon, at least in terms of the U.S., has a law that has to do with assisted suicide.